Good morning or evening, friends. This is JP with Wise Guys Gaming, and we are taking a look at Marvel Rivals here. We're going to start off with, so here's what had happened, alright? Here's what had happened. I decided to, on one of my pre-work jaunts, I decided I was going to play a game, and Hawkeye was available, so I picked Hawkeye. Just to kind of test my aim, you know, see how things are going with that aim. See what that aim do. And so I brought him out, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. Things went pretty well with Hawkeye. We're getting some pretty good shots in. And I decided while playing it that things were going so well that I was going to at least put this in the video. So, you know, I'm not, look, I think Tim the Tatman just had a video about the #1 Hawkeye or something like that, or a top-ranked Hawkeye. So I'm not trying to tell you I'm on anybody's level. I'm just, this is how I get my practice in. And maybe it's not the best way to get practice in. I could probably go to quick match and be better. But when you go to quick match, you have a lot more, you have to deal with both your guys as well as the enemy team. Just what the doctor ordered. And they can drop and pop back in, and you never know if they're using some kind of hack or whatever the situation is. And sometimes you just want to practice making sure you can kind of hit unpredictable targets. And while the computer is a little more predictable than most other targets, than most human targets, that actually helps me with my aim too and my anticipation. Because if even as I miss Jeff repeatedly, that's something I do have to practice on. But the computer does a couple of erratic movements, but the vast majority of what they do is part of some, you know, algorithm or scheme or whatnot. So I'm able to both try to pick on when they're going to do that, and also when they're being pretty obvious, just use that as, okay, so if they're moving like this, aim and shoot. Now, does that mean I'm going to hit everything? No. Does that mean I'm going to hit most things? No. If that was the case, I wouldn't need to practice. So, and, you know, if this is the case, if I were to just be awful, the team should still be able to win this. Like, I could be the worst Hawkeye player on earth, and the team should still be able to win this. So, that's another reason I like doing, playing against CPU. Because 9 times out of 10, you're still going to win, and people tend to give you a little more slack when you're hurt. So, I ain't tripping, you know what I mean? Pew. Back up a little bit. Now right there, I think I should have fired into the chaos. I think I should have fired into it and see if a charge hit would have killed him, because that would have saved, you know, that would have saved me some trouble, and some of the team was trouble too. But I didn't. I tried to back up because I thought I was going to be right around the corner, and it didn't work. I need to be a little further around to save myself from that. Now this is one of the reasons I wanted to put this on here, because I had some pretty good tracking here. It made me so happy. I saw her get popped up, and I was like, I bet I could hit her on the way down. Can I hit her on the way down? I'm pretty sure I can hit her on the way down. And so, that makes me feel good, because it is nice to feel like you're making some level of progress while you play. Middle of this water. I've been talking all day, man. I have been talking all the live long day. Was that my arrow? Getting a couple shots off. Pew pew. Trying to make sure, even though that was terrible placement for the revive, for the enemy revive, but again, it's a bot, so I'm not expecting too much. But do keep that in mind when you play. Try not to put your spider nests, your revival bots, what do you call it, the CYA, whatever thing you've got, try your best not to leave it in the path of the objective. because 9 times out of 10 from what I've seen, once the objective goes over it, it'll kill it. So make sure you put it to the side somewhere, up high, something like that. I catch myself doing it by accident, particularly when we're moving the payload. I'll want to throw it in a corner somewhere, but I'll end up throwing it on the road, and so when things turn, it goes right into it. So I gotta be a little more careful how I handle that. I thought I was gonna get MVP, but I was okay not getting MVP because I felt like I did what I often don't do with Hawkeye, and that is made a bit of an impact. Like, I did my job there. I was okay with that. I did my job. You know, you're not going to win everything. You're not going to be at the top of everything, but it is what it is. And this match was a competitive match. Like I said, I'm trying to play a little more competitive. This is one of the ones that I got on the Xbox. I wanted to try to get a bit of a boost. Ooh. I think I'm at Bronze 1 on Xbox, on PC, and Bronze 2 on Xbox. And I need to find some more time to just sit down and play, but I know we got storms this weekend. I need to move some more stuff this weekend. I got more stuff to do than time. When I get home from work, man, I don't listen. When I was a kid, I used to laugh because people would be like, "Hey man, what you up to?" And the older people would just be like, "Psh, work, man." So all I'm up to is work. And I used to be like, why does everybody say that like that? I don't understand. When you get there, it's what it feels like. It feels like you're always working. Even when you're not working, you're working. Or getting ready to go back to work. So I get that a little bit more now. I've always, I've been working since, I'll say college. I did some jobs in high school, but they weren't like jobs. I didn't really start working until around college. And even some of that was summer. Listen, I've been blessed. I used to fight that, but if you've been blessed, be happy about your blessings too. Be happy about your blessings while you got them. Because one day you won't. But, I ain't scared of getting no work in. I've done some of everything. From cleaning toilets to... Oh, this was fun. Yeah, from cleaning toilets to, doing some legal argument. I've done some of everything. It's been a blessing. Anywho, I think that was pretty good because while the payload could have used that as a shield pretty heavy against him, it was much better to just get Punisher up out of the paint. And we were able to get that done with our tornado. They really do need to get us that cowboy or that cowgirl storm though. I know they just gave us the new storm with the Mjolnir's hammer, so I know they're probably not looking to give us another storm skin so soon. But cowgirl storm, that would be great. Complete with the hat. Ah, that'd be great. And a nice MVP screen too. That would be awesome. And when you do, give me money. By the way, I'm still working on it, but there's 2 videos I want to make, and I just need to bite the bullet and make it. But I think I'm going to start a series about making money, or about how people should hire me to make some money. Because I can think of 3 video game ideas I have right now that are relevant. One of them I need to get out quick because I think something might change soon. And if they do change, I want it to at least look like I didn't steal the idea. I meant to skip this, apparently I did not skip it, so. But, yeah, I think there's some money to be made with video games. And that's one of them here. Give me that storm skin, man. It's topical, it's kind of new. If you haven't seen it, it's a really neat skin. Or not skin, but a really neat illustration of like Storm as cowgirl. And I think that's awesome. There was a lot of speculation as to it being because Beyonce had her country album or whatever. I don't think that was the case. I think it was part of the storyline thing. But I'm not deep enough in the comics to say that definitively. So, sure, whatever it is. Let's say it's Beyonce. I don't care. Still look good. Still hype. Wiped out their little rebellion camp right there. All those fake Lokis, get out of my way. Get out of my face. And we don't mind backing up just a little bit so that our healers can see us. By the way, I think I'm going to get rid of the banner at the bottom. I'm going to work on that, but I think I'm going to get rid of the banner at the bottom. No, I loves it. I loves it dearly. I might have to find another way I think I know how I'm going to incorporate it otherwise, but yeah. It's a nice banner though. Anyway. Balling. Trying to keep as much pressure on as possible, trying to deal as much damage as possible. Storm is an incredible damage dealer, but she is also an incredible leader for her team. If you have not played Storm a lot, I would suggest you try to pick her up, especially if you are looking to get some assists. Because if you go into her lightning mode, everybody gets bonus damage. Everybody gets bonus damage. So if you have a Hawkeye on your team, stay somewhere relatively close to him. If you got a Black Widow, same thing. Think about a Punisher just dealing out massive amounts of damage. Keep that going. You got a Wolverine or an Iron Fist. They deal some pretty consistent damage. If you sit near the front line and you see them go in, you can come in to boost their damage. And when they get them low, use the, I don't know what it's called, but her E ability to enhance the field, which either makes you faster or makes you output a little more damage. And just use that to push. I do that all the time. Because not only does it increase their damage, but when you're in that mode, you get these lightning bolts from above and it just it goes past their shield, it goes past so much stuff. You can get so much work done with it. I respect it. And I say that everybody who hasn't tried Storm should try Storm. Also, I don't know if it's still the case, but I think it is. Her attacks cleave. So being up here is great with Storm, because it's harder for them to hit you. You can kind of wiggle around and move, stick and move a little bit more. I still prefer to be lower to the ground, so that way if they run in a line, I believe it does still cleave, so you hit multiple people when you do your attack. Don't be afraid to back it up, get a little bit of healing, take your damage, back it up, take your damage, back it up. You are paper thin. I don't know if anybody remembers, I was a big fan of the X-Men cartoon. And not just the 97 version, X-Men 97. I mean the original X-Men animated series cartoon. And I remember how funny it used to be, because Storm was, she's a living oxymoron. She's so strong, she's so powerful, and she'd just be like, feel the power of the wind. And this giant storm would walk up. And then it would look like a sentinel would turn and look her way and do like a simple I-beam. And she'd be out for the next 15 minutes. And that's the next 15 minutes of airtime, not the next 15 minutes of however much time they're doing in the game or in the show. So that's how it feels to play Storm. It feels like she has phenomenal cosmic power, but you look at her the wrong way and she's in some trouble. So you just kind of gotta keep that in mind. And that's another reason I like to kind of play her low, is because when people know that you have a Storm, they typically aim high. But if you kind of stay low, not only are more of your friends getting their bonuses, but you can also hug the corner a little bit more. And use those as your natural shield. That's the goal. One of the things you have to learn. Sorry, slide away. One of the things you get to learn is that your team can help you, but they can only help you so much. So what you have to learn is how to make sure that you become less of a liability. Particularly because we all know we've been in games with 4 DPS and a thing, or 4 DPS and a Captain America or something like that. And while that can work, when you're in that type of situation, what I've learned is don't try to argue, don't try to fight about it, but use the knowledge of what that means to your advantage. And by that I mean, if I'm playing Storm, and I know, that was just poor timing, he didn't just spit him out. If he just spat him out right there, we could have gotten some kills. If I play Storm, and I know that Oh, I lost my train of thought. That's bad. That's so bad. Oh, sorry. If I play Storm, and I know we've got one healer, and that healer requires, let's say it's a Jeff, right? Jeff requires to be somewhat close or to be able to set up his little health bubbles. I'm not gonna, no, I'm sorry, not Storm. Let's say you're playing Iron Fist. Iron Fist is a divey character. I'm gonna be way back there in the enemy line. Way back there in the enemy line. I can't get mad at Jeff for not healing me when he's trying to stay as safe as possible so he can be alive to heal the rest of the team. So what I have to do instead is make sure that I try to keep myself as safe as possible. I go in, I deal my damage, I get to a safe place, and I meditate. Why? Because that gives me health and a shield, and that's one less thing for Jeff to have to keep an eye out on. I can even tell Jeff early on, hey man, don't worry about me. If I'm diving, you don't worry about it. If I die, it's my fault, it's not your fault. I will come back to you. That was one of my favorite things about playing Winston in Overwatch. You can tell him, hey, don't worry, I'll be back. All right, don't feel like you got to come after me in battle or anything like that. I will be back. And you could just jump in, do a bunch of damage, turn around and jump out. And that's all you really had to do. And if you had somebody, a healer that you could trust, when you came back, you get healing. You get enough chance to get your shield back and your jump back. You jump right back into the fight. Or you get right back into the fight and keep going. And then jump back out and come back again. And that's something that can be done. It's a little more difficult when it's solo healing. So you need to be able to say, okay, I dove a little deeper than I needed to. I'm looking around, ain't no friendly faces around here. I need to stay alive. Before you type, I need healing, I need healing, I need healing, what can I do to help my specialist? You know what helps? Going around the corner and finding that health pack. A, it gives you the opportunity to get back to your teammate so they can heal you the rest of the way and still get some ult charge. Or B, it allows you to stay alive long enough to get back in the fight and get that kill you really wanted. They still have pressure because of how you're positioned. And that's great. But you gotta give them that leeway. You can't just continue to be like, well, you're not healing me. You're a specialist and you're not healing me. Of course not. You gotta look at your position. You gotta look at what's around them. You gotta look at what's around you. Now, are y'all trying to touch the point? You thought that was gonna happen? Not with the wrath of the goddess. Not with the wrath of the goddess. So, pretty good game. I mean, it could have been better, but that's a pretty good game. And I felt very good about that one being in comp, even though it's bronze 1. I know people don't really respect it, but I felt good about that. I think I did. At least I think I played pretty decently. You let me know in the comments how you feel. Either way, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.